The next question, does the RD not to IGPU render the IGPU of MX series meaningless from any sense? This expression is a bit extreme. Let me put it another way. RD not to IGPU on the stage means the market share of MX GPU will be further squeezed, especially for entry levels, the entry levels. Why would I say like that? There are two reasons. First point, when it comes to the drive for AMD, especially drive for GPU, old players may know that it's somewhat quite annoying, so to speak. Well, now what about the quality of RD not to IGPU's drive? Up to present, has not been certified in a large scale. Consumers don't have so many devices. According to our previous test, so far so good. It is good for now, but too many problems that we can't detect. Right? Quality control or many bugs are hard to be tested due to limited time. When it comes to retailing, there should be a more definite feedback having been provided. Problems related to drive may be serious. Like a time bomb, it's a potential hidden problem that may perhaps crop up. The second reason lies in the performance. RD 2 is indeed strong, but how strong is it then? Can it beat MX 570? It's impossible for me. As for MX 570, and with such high power, then this should become and we say it is how should I express this? It is a product that NVIDIA has polished up for so many years. Thus, I think that MX 570 is obviously better, and we should say it is stronger than our DN42. NVIDIA's drive is better, honestly, so I say only time can test this opinion. Right then, for the time being, only low-end MX series GPU could be fully replaced by our RD 2, but high-end ones, such as MX 570 or 550, are hard to tell the future. The next question from Luo Yang. The battery life of the 12th gen is too short. For those need longer, should they just buy the 11th gen, since the performance is not so required? Generally speaking, I don't recommend netizens the old version of computer, and well, for some reasons. The truth is, well then, consumers, or most of consumers, excluding you, most consumers all hope to buy a new version PC instead of an old one. So to take care of most customers' emotions, or in order to relieve concerns. Therefore, generally speaking, what I would talk about is only to discuss or evaluate the latest 12th generation, not the 11th gen. Nevertheless, to be honest, now based on your own needs, the 11th gen could be taken into account, because the 12th gen's hybrid architecture has improved its performance, but we also find battery life has been shortened. What has 12th gen CPU improved? It's not performance per watt, but the performance as competitivity, like single core or multi-core. Much improvement, just like rocket thruster. Run faster than before, however, needs more power and electricity. Its system also has to fit Microsoft and partner of GPU, such as NVIDIA or AMD, in a more intimate manner. Under the circumstance, its battery life may indeed be sacrificed first, if the battery life is what you care about, and normal performance is okay. 11th gen with 4 cores, which is not that weak, well, could be your choice. Then, now let's see the next question. Is the statement true that AMD GPU cannot fit with so many softwares? It doesn't fit. Currently, we haven't noticed this problem. On not fitting, least games could run with it. It's not about fitting, but it might be inefficient, such as editing the video. As video editing without the CUDA programming, AMD GPU will be poor in acceleration. Therefore, if you don't use ease software, but something more niche, or something that I don't know, method could be considered like your colleagues, or your classmates might be using the same software. Is that right? You could ask if they use AMD GPU. If they all use NVIDIA GPU or some other devices, then AMD GPU is out. If they use AMD GPU and it performs okay, and you could go use AMD, that would be okay. Is that right? I propose things like your work cannot be influenced by your own personal preferences over brands. Work is about earning money. Good performance of AMD GPU means okay. Where it won't work, no need to think about other things. However, for recreation, some games, especially without high requirements for the tracing of ray, or even with no ray tracing effect, then AMD GPU, according to the testing, works fine normally. Next one, from Honky Close Combat. His question is, he himself is a supportive fan of GT Series. GT Series. MSIs GT Series, right? Will GT 7651 meters? Oh, it's from Alienware. Have any successors or not? Let me be clear. What I can tell is just a hearsay. At MSI has a GT Series program in incubation right now. Nevertheless, It is uncertain whether it will be mass-produced. Still, GT doesn't. How should I say it? MSI now works on GT. Not entirely giving it up, but they have to make judgment. If GT is profitable, maybe GT is unprofitable. And its reputation, its brand may also be influenced. Then GT may be discarded. Well then, as for 51 meters, Alienware 51 meters not only has a large GPU, but also a processor on the desktop. So thermals might be hard. No update in the previous 11th gen. Because of its terrible desktop CPU, called waste of sand, yeah, the 12th gen currently shows no trend of update. Thus, I think that Alienware possibly would not update it at present. Well, then, how should I say, in terms of those thick and heavy notebooks? From my perspective, in this era, those thick guys have basically come to an end. No customer would like to buy them anymore. This is because those thick and heavy notebooks or laptops can't meet requirements of most users. You might need one notebook like this. I also approve of this computer too, but businesses are not for charity, nor to serve what you believe in. They have to make money. Therefore, most consumers or green hands nowadays prefer thinner and more delicate products, showing high technology. They don't like a very heavy PC, like what we call as cottage machines or sham goods. So despite what they say, heavy and thick sham goods will become less and less, more and more niche. Well, less and less. For the time being, what is still in update is merely the Clavo series, and some of its brands, such as Hasi, along with some other foreign brands which I updated an official account days ago. This brand, Eurocom, the brand Eurocom, it also updates the chassis of this type, but it will become less. Well, generally speaking, this chassis path isn't a dead end, but it is being phased out this industry gradually, right? Just run its own course. Well, what he says is, next question, please share precautions for dust clean. We have made a video in the September of last year, and as for how to finish dust clean for your PC, if you do need it, you could go watch it. The link will be attached under the video. Be attached here. You could go search it. How often should users clean the dust for my computer? The answer depends on the environment. If you work in a 5-office building every day, home clean and tidy, then I think 3 or 4 years is accepted. But if you computer in a dormitory, like the one I lived in, which can be literally called a trench, and afterwards I went to work during university as a salesman, the environment of the dorm at that time was really, how to say, it's very hard. Like dorms, the dusty and dirty environment, in this case, annual clean is needed. Otherwise, dust or even some dead insects may remain in your computers and laptops. Well, that's gross, so it depends on your using surrounding. Why all-round laptops less than 2 centimeters thick, or 20 millimeters? MSI GS66, Acer Trident 500 say, Razer Blade are so pricey? Is it influenced by the high cost of materials? First of all, I want to say that Acer Trident 500 say and Razer Blade are not all-round in real sense. They are more viewed as the thin gaming laptops, and this position, to tell you the truth, the cost of materials is quite high, including design for thermals. The difficulty is higher, and thick laptops. For heavy and thick laptops, they actually have more space for thermals. Just put heat pipe. No, not that easy, but heat pipe could be stuffed in any way. The vapor chamber could be produced thicker. Installing more devices could solve this. Thus, its cost and R&D cost could be much lower. As for the thin laptops, for its R&D cost, the vapor chamber used is superb. Whether to add or subtract, in which places, needs a careful consideration. And then, its exterior is made of metal, so at this time, its cost for producing crafts will be much higher. Okay then, adding these costs together, the total price will naturally be high. Except for this, for these thin laptops, entry-level or mainstream chips are rarely chosen by manufacturers. For instance, have you ever, well, in this year or in the last year, or in recent times, seen the 3050 Ti laptops with the i5 plus 3050 Ti? You haven't seen. This is the choice of the decision maker, manufacturer, and product manager. These people would rather not to price those seemingly high-end chassis at an entry level or to squeeze in the mainstream level. To squeeze some other lineups, it's not what they want, so you can't find any cheap laptop of this kind. And if I were you, I might choose to make as 12th gen of i5 is the trend this year. Well, choice for gaming, an i5 plus 3060. Thin gaming computer or thin gaming laptop, less than 20 millimeters, i5 plus 3060. Laptops with i7 plus 3060 may cost $1,244 to $1,349. And then my design could be priced like it within this range. That sounds pretty great, right? We have room for profits. A good idea, but no one would do this. Therefore, if the manufacturers will not make it, we cannot buy it, okay? The next one. Will we see Mr. Yi come back again? Here is the thing, my original intention is not to have Mr. Ola return again. That's really what I think. The reason is, after dressing up twice, even though I have made lots of income, I really think it is not, very appropriate for such an IT channel. Like if you watch some of our different programs, you'll know that I'm a serious man. Our video channel is, well, like I said, serious without making random jokes. But to tell you the truth, this time amid COVID-19, Shanghai was in a disaster. Afterwards, I begin to consider that, no matter from the perspective of the operation of the video channel, for its existence, or we can say, well, then, from the aspect of my career, for the perspective of my career planning. My idea is that no one knows how long can we persist making videos in the future. Am I right? There is no way to predict this. Before that, I had many plans, but because of the lockdown, I should not think about things so far away. Because I also think it's not a bad thing. Maybe being farsighted isn't necessarily the smartest choice. My opinion is that for things like variety, like I don't know entirely if a meteorite falls today has probability, so I make up my mind just not to be too farsighted. And it's possible that I might dress up as Ola again one day. Therefore, in this way, I can make some more money. Right then? If I were in lockdown again, or I cannot get any profits, this payment may help. I think it's not very proper, despite the improper dressing. Well, then, perhaps you audiences like watching this. I'm not sure your preferences. For this year, I am planning for the return of Ola Yi. I would dress up as him sometime later. After the lockdown, at that time,